Today what we're going to do is we're going to try something brand new, and we are going to add integers. So I'm going to write it down. Add integers. And this is a very, very important skill for later on. Add integers. And we've been working with integers, so you know that they are positive and negative numbers. And we're going to add them together. So what we're going to start with is we're going to start with something very, very simple. 2 plus 7. Because those are both integers. What's 2 plus 7? That equals 9. Now, that's very easy because they're both positive integers. When we add integers, let me change this. Let's say it's negative 2 plus negative 7. Now that one gets a little bit more tricky because now we're talking about negatives. So negative 2 plus negative 7 is like saying that you have two little negative signs. So for 2, and then I'm going to put 7 more over here. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And if I'm adding those together, how many do I have? I have negative 9. So negative 2 plus negative 7 is negative 9. It's just like 2 plus 7 equals positive 9, but because you're adding negatives, your answer is negative. So if I have negative 4 plus negative 10, that equals negative 14. Because it's just like adding normal numbers, 2 plus 7 or 4 plus 10. So 4 plus 10, 14. Negative 4 plus negative 10, negative 14. Okay? So that's kind of the easiest integers to add, is when they're both negative. So if they're both negative, negative 3 plus negative 1, you say, well, 3 plus 1 is 4, and they're both negative, so negative 4. That's the easy way to add integers, if they're both negative or both positive. Now over here I'm going to try some where you have a positive and a negative. So we're going to try with a positive and a negative. So negative 3 plus positive 4. This one's harder because you basically have 3 negatives and 4 positive signs. Now here's the cool thing. The negative and positives are opposite, so you can cross them off. So you can cross that one off, and that one, and that one. So these are all gone because they cancel each other. And what do you have left? You have 1 positive, so your answer is 1. It's just the same when you have 1 positive and 1 negative. You end up doing something, instead of adding, if you have 1 positive and 1 negative, you end up actually subtracting, because 4 minus 3 is 1. So I'm going to try negative 8 plus 10. So 1 negative, 1 positive. So I'd have 8 negative signs, and then I'd have 10 positives. So I'd have plus, 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 plus. I have lots of positives. I don't know if I can even write them all down. And 8 of these are going to go away. These 8 are going to go with these 8. Just like you were subtracting, you're going to subtract 8 of them away. So 10 minus 8 is positive 2. You get positive 2. Not negative 2, positive 2. Now the other thing that can happen, if you notice, both of these, this 4 was the positive number and 10 was the positive number. Sometimes we have problems like 7 plus negative 3. So let's try that one. 7 plus negative 3. I'm going to subtract 7 minus 3, 4. And it's going to be positive because 7 is bigger. Because I'd have 7 pluses and 3 minuses. So all these would cancel, and I'd have 4 positive. Now I'm going to switch that around and see if you can handle one like this. What if I made it negative 7 plus 3. Ooh, that one's different. You still subtract 7 minus 3. What is 7 minus 3? It's 4. But this time, the 7 has the negative, and it's the bigger number. So since the bigger number has the negative, my answer, has to have the negative. Because I would have 7 negatives, like that, and I'd have 3 positives. So that means I can cross off 3 of my negatives, because these cancel each other. The pluses and minuses are opposites, they cancel. And if you look, I have 4 negatives left. So adding integers, sometimes you have to use subtraction. So let's try negative 3 plus 1. Well, what's 3 minus 1? 3 minus 1 is 2. But my 3 is the bigger number, right? 3 is bigger and it has the negative sign, so negative 2. So you'll have to look and see which way you're going to do things. Okay? You have to decide, am I going to have to make them a minus 2, or is it going to be a positive 2? This one was a negative because this sign was with the 3, the bigger number. Okay, I'm going to go back up here for a second. Remember these ones, they were both negatives. 2 negatives, you just add. So if you have 2 negatives, you just add. If I scroll up here again, if you have 1 positive and 1 negative, you subtract. And then after you subtract, you have to decide, is your answer positive or negative?